Hello everyone, my name is Climerin, and I'm one of the Toast devs. But this is my second channel where I post stuff that I make on my own. So this is I just call it the coat of arms, but it's just like this enormous PSD file where I just put a bunch of stuff that represents my four Chipmen OCs. And also, as you can see, my logo is in the center here. So you've got the two circles, and then the clover, and that sort of pattern sort of extends out. So yeah, you sort of go out here, and I tried to keep it all like very geometric, very neat. That's sort of how I like to do things. And then you have this center logo, and then outside of that, it's sort of like a hashtag. And then you go out to the Chipmen. So yeah, here you have Jackarees, Tristake, Cash Slider, Jillian Stacks. And they all have background colors, which are, just sort of nice colors that are adjacent to their specific color. Except for Jillian, when I was making this little bit initially, I really struggled with what to do with Jillian because his color was red, but also white. So I eventually settled on sort of this pale pinkish color, and I think it's sort of a nice compromise. But yeah, anyway, so then they have these little shapes here, which are connecting them to the other ones, and they all have the same corresponding number of sides as dashes. So, Triss has the octagon, Cash has the hexagon, and I didn't want to do a triangle, because if I did a triangle with Jillian, it would sort of just, completely, it would take up too much space, so instead I think I did, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I did a nonagon. So that's 9 sides. Because, he has 3, and 9 is 3 threes. So, and then for Jackarees, I did a septagon. Pretty simple. And so, when, on the sort of border here between the two, in this little triangle here, I did a combination of this color and then this color for the ones where Jacker is. So Jacker and Triss both have a combination of their colors, and then Jacker and Jillian both also have that, so they're both sort of purplish. But then for Tristake and Cash Slider, the purple and green gradient kind of looked ugly. So I compromised, and instead I made it so one square would be more purplish, and then one square would be more greenish. So it would still be like a transition, but it wouldn't be like the sort of ugly purple to green that it would be. And then I did the same over here. These two are different colors, so I still mixed them. And they're still they're transitioned, but it's still not ugly. This color is still kind of ugly. It's like it doesn't. I don't know. It's the best I could do. So. It's a very, very small part of, the larger design. And, yeah, so then we move on. And, so in this sort of, little square here, then you have these squares extending here. So these are all, drawings I did that are just, representative of the characters. So we've got Jackarees has his little cigarette pack here. Tristake has some sake. Cash Slider has his 777 and all his chips there. I think this was sort of originally a stock photo. The coins are. I made the 777 completely from scratch. And then this one is just his hat in the background there, and then the chips in the front. So yeah, I sketched all these. I sketched everything here on paper. As just sort of one day I was bored, I was like, you know what, I kind of want to design something. So I sketched it here, and then I just sort of kept on expanding out. And so then I wanted to make it real. So, and then finally we have these little sections here. They're kind of empty, but, I mean, my original plan was to have, chains going from, going across it, but that didn't really work out. So now we have these, interlocking circles. And this was pretty hard to do, if I'm going to be honest, because like I had to go in and overlay each little ring with different colors depending on how many times it overlapped. And for the ones that are, I think, yeah, for the ones that were even, like no, for the ones that are odd, like Jacker and Cash and all of them, it's like not perfect, and you're gonna have someone you can't do over under over under over under. You can see here this one has to go under twice just because like it doesn't work out. But so yeah, then I sort of colored each ring a different shade of blue because Jacker has 7 of them, and that's a lot of blues. They sort of start to get to green, but this is teal, so it's not actually going towards green. And then everywhere that they overlay, I would take the 2 colors that it was overlaying with and just average them out. So you can see here it sort of gets lighter, and then it gets a little bit bluer, and then all the way down to the middle, where I tried to do just like the most plain blue that could possibly exist. And that's the process I did with the other ones too. So here you got this like really dark, like brown, almost blackish red. Got this really bright red, and then you got sort of an average red. So these all average to sort of the same red, and then in the middle, it's just like, I think this is CMYK red, because this whole thing is in CMYK. And then you got, yeah, Caches, and then you got Tristake's. The middle one is a lot more bright than any of the other colors. But yeah. And then the backgrounds are, I think, it's weird. I don't know how I chose these colors. I don't remember why I chose these specific colors. It might have just been arbitrary. But, yeah. Those are just, like, pleasing colors. And then there's this, like, little nub here where the circle, it's a rounded rectangle, and then it meets with the straight rectangle, so there's, like, this little nub here of just nothing. So I just put another color of red, blue, purple, or green. And so yeah, if we zoom in all the way to one of these, let's go to like the middle here, you can see that there's sort of like a, no one doesn't have it, that's weird. Anyway, you can see that there's sort of, oh, the texture overlay. Alright, so the texture overlay was not enabled, but now if we zoom in, then we'll be able to see that there's a sort of halftone pattern across the entire thing. I like halftone. I think it adds a lot of excitement and like just adds like a little bit of texture to the image. So I like to add it. I really like especially here where it's like if you zoom in and look really closely, you can see that the halftone is even on this pure black part. And then the halftone meshes with the sort of aerosolized brush that I used with this. And yeah, so let's take a look at some of the layers. So first off, we've got the drawings, which are on, I think there's a bunch of layers, but I think they're mostly merged, except I have a hidden folder where I can edit them if I want to. I think that's just to save on computing power. And then here's the box that I would use. So yeah, then there's the old drawings. We're actually not going to take a look at those because they're ugly and I don't care about them. Then we have the colors file, or colors layer, which is kind of weird. I didn't really like intentionally make it look like this. This is just sort of what worked when I was doing my thing. And then we got colors 2, which is just the sort of borders. And then you have colors 3 apparently, which is the the little nubs. So yeah, you can very clearly see the sort of hashtag and cross pattern here, and you can see like I don't know how that happened. That's just sort of whoops, what happened? Anyway, so yeah, that's the colors. Then we got the center logo, and you can remove the circle and the 4 over. Yeah, so that's cool. Then you got the chips, which I believe are, yeah, they're all made of ellipses, so you can, you know, edit their dashes. So if we go over here, and we can we can make Tristake have 3 dashes. Whoa, that's cursed. So that bring that down to like 6.8, I think it was. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, they're all still editable. This is a PSD because it's mostly just like solid colors, so it's apparently under 4 megabytes. That's interesting. So yeah. Whoops. Then you got Jacker Ace and all of them. Then finally we come, well not finally, then we move on to the shapes. So that's all of these septagons and nonagons and hexagons. Oh my. And yeah, here are the triangles that I was talking about before. You can see like, okay, it's either you do something like this, or you just do it perfectly, or you can do some sort of like squish triangle. But then, you know, it still isn't going to work out. So I have sort of abandoned that, and I just did a nonagon instead. So we got the shapes there, then we got the outlines, which are like the big circles that encompass the whole thing. Then we got the Venn circle, which is, I believe, yeah. So it's the images of all of these. These are all merged images. It would just be a bunch of them otherwise. So yeah, and then there was the circle that I used when I was making a new one. Oh, it got cut off apparently. Oh well, I don't need to make any more, so that's probably fine. And then we have the texture overlay. It's got a layer mask on it, just so it can not encompass everything else, because it's a pattern. It's just a pattern shape with a specific scaling. And so yeah, it's gonna be right onto the border of where the shape actually is. So, yeah, that's about it. I maybe I'll put a link in the description to download this as like the full size version, or you know, a smaller version. And yeah, that's about it. See ya.